Coming up next on this edition of In the City, water is a vital resource, and the Stones River is a large source of water for our city. We visited the second annual Rutherford County Water Fest to learn more. Plus, Hurricanes Harvey and Irma recently devastated southern parts of the United States. Murfreesboro City Schools is doing what they can to help the victims. Also, Oakland's Park will be filled with music lovers for the second annual Acorn Festival. We have all the details just for you. Also, the city has renovated the old sanitation building into a brand new employee training center. We were there at the open house to get a first-hand look. We'll tell you about all those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Cecilia Herrell. The second annual Rutherford County Water Fest took place this past month. The Water Fest explains the vital resource and how everything we do affects it.
We call this our second annual Stones River Water Fest. And so it's all about the Stones River watershed and how important water is to our way of living. We're hoping that children and parents learn that what they do makes a difference, because everything you do impacts the world. We did this last year. We only had 7 classes, and this year we tried a new approach, and we sent letters directly to the principals, and the response was huge. We have 49 classes here today.
Some of the agencies that were invited to help educate the kids were state governments, local governments, MTSU, private engineering firms, among many others. One demonstration was about non-point source pollution. This is where rainwater picks up pollutants, such as herbicides from farmers' fields, as well as trash from streets, and carries it to streams and rivers, which puts stress on aquatic life and water treatment facilities.
We have a live demonstration where the kids form a line along a stream, and they have containers of pollutants, and then they demonstrate like a rainfall event where the water is passed from one person to the other and eventually accumulates at the bottom into a lake, and then they are observing the different pollutants and talking about how that affects the aquatic life and our water quality. So it's real fun. The number one word of the day has been disgusting.
It is disgusting, that's right.
The many booths that were set up consisted of everything from how to cast a fishing pole, a game to teach the importance of life jackets, aquatic life found in local waterways, and even a cow milking demonstration. But learning about the Stones River watershed was not the only goal for the day.
And being outside, that was the point. We wanted them to enjoy the outside while they're learning, so that children and teachers and principals understand that you can learn outside of the classroom. So the classes can go from station to station that they choose within their curriculum standards, because it's a learning day. All the stations meet some curriculum standards for their grades. We could not put this on without Murfreesboro Parks and Rec. I mean, they provided the equipment, they provided the backup. I just can't say enough about the support the city has provided. Children are becoming more aware, and it's a whole lot of fun. So you say, what's stormwater? And they can tell you, and where does it go? Into the creek, and into the river. So it's good.
Unfortunately, Hurricanes Harvey and Irma raged through the southern parts of our country last month. Murfreesboro City Schools came up with a way they can help out. Residents of Texas and Florida are slowly trying to rebuild not only cities, but lives after the devastating hurricanes. Murfreesboro City Schools wanted a way to help these victims.
Today we started our Hope for Houston campaign, which is a chance for kids to come in and just donate money for people who have endured hurricanes down in Houston and in Florida. It's a neat thing because our kids are aware of what's going on. They know, they see it on their phones or on TV, and they want to help. And oftentimes kids don't have an opportunity to help.
Children were able to donate money in these bright red colored boxes.
This was a one-day event, so we've been talking about the Hope for Houston Day for over a week now, and the announcements and in classrooms. Kids were really excited about the opportunity to feel like they are helping some other people in need, and just to have that sense of community and for our entire nation has been a neat thing to watch, and to see the level of excitement kids have has been really cool to see.
The schools raised over $6,600 total. All of these donations will be going straight to the American Red Cross to help victims from Hurricane Harvey and Irma. To learn more about Murfreesboro City Schools, you can visit cityschools.net. Reporting for CityTV, I'm Cecilia Herrell. Listen up, music lovers. The second annual Acorn Festival is coming up, and we have all the details just for you.
We're here at Oakland's Park where we have Acorn Festival. This is going to be the second year of Acorn Festival. We chose this awesome location because it's huge and can fit a ton of people, but also because of Acorn Festival, we wanted to have it at Oakland's in the fall when all the acorns fall. The first music festival of its kind in Murfreesboro, Acorn Festival showcases local and national indie, rock, folk, and Americana talent alongside food trucks and craft beer vendors in a beautiful fall atmosphere. The first band playing this year is The Touch, a Nashville, Tennessee-based dark synth pop ensemble. The second band playing is one we've brought back by popular demand from last year's lineup, the Southern folk band The Hard and Draw. Our third band is a rising folk Americana band based out of Nashville, Tennessee, Rowan Oak. Our fourth band, Arts Fishing Club, has a unique take on acoustic rock.
So what are you doing? How did you get out? Shouldn't you be right beside my heart? You said it grew too dark in there.
The Lonely Biscuits are an alternative rock band hailing from Nashville, Tennessee.
I've been meaning to ask you, how's the gravy tasting? Mixing up a pot's full of my ingredients. My band's getting soulful with rhymes for lack of obedience. People tried to criticize without a sign of lenience. They're scared that we're finally crossing over the median.
Our headliner this year is indie folk band Shell. It is made up of four sisters, Sarah, Hannah, Eva, and Liza. Saturday, November 4th, gates open at 11:30 a.m. and music starts at 12 p.m. and goes until 6 p.m. To get into Acorn Festival, you have to have a wristband, and you can order wristbands online using a debit or credit card at acornfestival.org. Wristbands are $8 when you order them online, and we mail them right to you with a free gift. And you can also get wristbands at the gate for $10 using cash or check. You can find more information about Acorn Festival on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Cultural Arts Murfreesboro, and find our event page for Acorn Festival.
The city has a new addition. The old sanitation building has now been renovated into a new employee training center. We went to the open house to learn more. Murfreesboro is a growing city. As the city grows, so do our needs. The old sanitation building on East Main Street has now been renovated to house an employee training center. At the open house, many employees from all departments came to check out the new training center, enjoy some refreshments, and get a look at the new city website. For more information on the City of Murfreesboro or to check out our new website, please visit murfreesborotn.gov. Reporting for CityTV, I'm Cecilia Herrell. Did you know the Murfreesboro Police Department is home to a time capsule? The city recently came together to open the time capsule from 1973. In September of 1973, Murfreesboro was a growing city. A new police building had just been completed, and the community was excited to celebrate the brand new facility. The Rutherford County Historical Society placed a wooden box in the rear stairwell and blocked it in. Murfreesboro is only a few weeks away from opening a new police headquarters, so it was a great time to open the time capsule to celebrate Murfreesboro's history. How do you envision the city of Murfreesboro in 2035? The community got a chance to have input by participating in a recent design guideline meeting.
A public open house recently took place at Murfreesboro City Hall to receive input from the public on proposed design guidelines for Murfreesboro development citywide. Information stations were staffed by planners and note takers to capture comments and ideas. All interested business owners, developers, community leaders, and citizens were encouraged to attend and participate.
We are hosting an open house inviting members of the public and also members of the development community to come to talk to us about what's important to them and what's important, how they see Murfreesboro in the future, what it looks like. And we are developing some guidelines and standards to create that Murfreesboro which we're all envisioning. And we think it's important to get feedback from the general public, people who live here, people who do work here, who develop here, or engineers and architects. So we've invited those members to come to talk to us, to look at some draft design guidelines and see what they like, what maybe we can improve to help accomplish their vision.
Engineering firm Reagan Smith developed the master plan for Murfreesboro's Gateway project and has worked on multiple development and planning projects in the mid-state region. They will be the consultants leading this work.
What is addressed in the guidelines is what people mostly see visually, as far as the aesthetics of what Murfreesboro is about. I think what a lot of people have seen is what's occurred out at the Gateway. A lot of people are very happy with what that looks like. Do they want that level? Because that's a very high level of criteria, that's been established out there. And of course, we're looking at this as a city as a whole. Is that what needs to be implemented as a city as a whole? Probably not, but a little bit fewer restrictions there, but still trying to accomplish the same goal.
These guidelines are being looked at for Murfreesboro in its entirety, but there have been some areas that have been excluded.
We've excluded the central business district, so that's the downtown that you think of with the courthouse and the square. We've also excluded the Bottoms area and the North Highland area because we envision writing some special standards for those areas. Those areas look different, and we think that they would need some special design criteria to reflect the type of development that we anticipate seeing there.
The proposed design guidelines include the following four main subject areas. Building site design, which includes setbacks, parking, pedestrian system, open space, lighting, utilities, stormwater facilities. Architecture, which includes building design, general character, height and setbacks, building mass and scale, building materials, color and roof design. Public street network, which includes street types, connectivity, public streetscape treatment, transit and service delivery capabilities. And landscape, which includes screening and buffering, foundation plantings, residential and commercial street trees, and irrigation.
And what they're intended really to do is address aesthetics as much as anything. There's certainly, what do we want the city of Murfreesboro to look like?
The city has recently completed a comprehensive plan called Murfreesboro 2035, planning for the next 20 years. We found out how that study factors in to these design guidelines.
The 2035 plan did recommend that we adopt some standards, for some architectural standards, and that is one component of the design guidelines. We know that the 2035 plan said that it was important to adopt bike lanes and make sure that pedestrians have safe sidewalks, and so that's part of the standards. And we want this plan to reflect their vision, not just me as a planner in City Hall. I don't want this just to be Margaret Ann's plan, but the city's plan, something that we can embrace and be very proud of.
A Facebook page has been created to help provide information and input. On Facebook, search Murfreesboro Design Guidelines to like the page and provide comments, which will be captured and provided to the consulting team. For information about the Murfreesboro Design Guidelines, contact Margaret Ann Green, City of Murfreesboro Planning at 615-893-6441 or email at mgreen@murfreesborotn.gov.
Reading is an important part of a child's education. We found out how reading just 20 minutes a day with your child can help them succeed.
The Murfreesboro City Schools, as well as the state of Tennessee, is pushing a new program that focuses on improving childhood literacy by parents reading to their children.
The main focus of Read 20 is for parents to sit down with their children and have that one-on-one time with them in their lap, enjoying a book. And so one of the things that we're asking in our community is for students and their parents to read 20 minutes a day from the time children are born. Because what we know is that our brains use the language centers of the areas to read later. And so with parents talking to their children and reading with their children, it really prepares their brain for that reading instruction. I think the main push in that is we're seeing children coming in less ready for school. And so there are lots of reasons. One reason is parents aren't reading to their children. We're seeing a lot of technology time, tablets, phones, that sort of thing. So it's just a time to put those things away and sit down with your child with a book. If you can get 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, just several times over the course of the day, and at bedtime it might be a little bit longer. That can be a really good bedtime routine. You're going to get more bang for your buck because it's going to be hard for a young child to sit that long. So first thing, pointing to the words while you're reading, having the child point to the pictures, talking back and forth about the pictures in the story. So we have resources that will really list out all those tips for reading with your child to make it a really good experience.
Dr. Seuss books made rhyming popular in children's books. We asked how rhyming words help reading development.
Rhyming is word play, and so what that does is it has the student manipulating the language and playing with the language. So two things, it's developing those language centers by that manipulation, but it's also teaching that enjoyment of reading.
Dodson explains the reading level 3- and 4-year-old children should be at to be ready for kindergarten.
At age 3, your child should be able to point to the pictures. They start understanding that the story is in the words and not the pictures. They know the pictures are describing the words. And so as a parent's reading and pointing to the words, they can say, I think you know that word. Or if it's the letter A, the word A, they might say, oh, look, that's a word too. And so just pointing those things out.
English as a second language parents wonder if reading in their native language to their children will be detrimental to them trying to learn English.
Many families don't want to read to their child, let's say in Spanish, if we're talking about a Spanish-speaking family, because they feel like they want their child to speak English. But what we know is that reading to their child in Spanish increases those language centers of the brain, whether it's English or Spanish. And so reading to their child in their native language is absolutely fine, and they should do that.
Dodson gives some examples of games you can play with your child to continue to sharpen their reading skills.
In the grocery store, so as you're walking through the produce section, most children know bananas, apples, but do they know kumquat or a pear? And so really increasing their vocabulary that way. So just talking with your child while you're out and about. What we see is children receiving a lot of commands with language. Do this, sit down, go brush your teeth. Whereas it's more of that serve and return language where you say something, the child responds. The child says something, you respond. And so having those conversations like we would have with an adult are important with your child. Also, anytime you're waiting, we do a lot of waiting at pediatrician's office, those types of things. Have a book with you and sit down and read with your child.
The $1 Million Quartet stopped by St. Clair Street Senior Center last month. This show is based off a jam session with Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins. Here are some highlights from the show.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Cry all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Cry all the time. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't never play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Now keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
In other news, the City of Murfreesboro will conduct 4 neighborhood informational meetings in major quadrants of the city to gather public comment on the draft 2040 Major Transportation Plan. This Major Transportation Plan is a long-range plan that will guide city traffic planning and transportation projects for the next 25 years. The public meetings will be held each Tuesday in October from 5 to 7 p.m. at the following locations: October 3rd at Hopgood Elementary School, October 10th at Black Fox Elementary, October 17th at Siegel Elementary, and October 24th at Cason Lane Academy. Traffic is always a concern in Murfreesboro. As the city grows, traffic congestion continues to be a major challenge for commuters and city engineers seeking to enhance traffic flow. The City Engineering Department has developed a congestion hotspot program for construction projects aimed at reducing traffic congestion. You can learn more about the program by visiting our website at murfreesborotn.gov, then scroll to the bottom of the homepage and look for the In the News section. Murfreesboro City TV has again been recognized nationally for quality government television programming. Murfreesboro's government-oriented television station received a national award during the 32nd Annual Government Programming Awards presented by the National Association of Telecommunications Officers and Advisors, also known as NATOA. The winners were announced during a gala Thursday, September 14th in Seattle, Washington. We are so excited to bring you quality programming here at City TV. The City of Murfreesboro has received a significant achievement award from the Public Technology Institute for the Unmanned Aircraft System, also known as the UAS program. The 2017 Technology Solutions Awards recognizes local governments nationwide for their use of technology to enhance public safety and operations. The City of Murfreesboro is proud to announce the launch of an innovative design to its new city government website. The new user-friendly site can be accessed at the same location at murfreesborotn.gov. The city invites visitors to explore the new site and give feedback on our Facebook page. Just search City of Murfreesboro TN on Facebook. Ralph King, a driver for the Murfreesboro Solid Waste Department, has been named the STARS Award winner for August 2017. Mayor Shane McFarland recognized King during the Murfreesboro City Council meeting on August 31, 2017, with the STARS Award for Outstanding Performance. STARS stands for Succeeding Through Attitudes Reflecting Service Excellence. Congratulations, Mr. King.
Mr. Ralph King is being honored as our STARS Award recipient. He has 30 years of service with the City of Murfreesboro, and he is currently a driver in the Solid Waste Department. Mr. King received 2 nominations for the STARS Award. As you're aware, the STARS program is a way by which the city can recognize outstanding performance by our employees. The first nomination was for assisting an elderly citizen who had fallen in his front yard. The second stemmed from his on-duty response to an overturned garbage container that had strewn garbage in the street. A citizen provided the following narrative. I observed Mr. King exhibit the core values of an employee who wants a cleaner and better city in which to live. Due to the excessive wind the previous night, there was an overturned garbage container 2 doors from my house. I just happened to be standing at the corner of my home and observed Mr. King get out of his truck and spend what was probably 5 minutes picking up every piece of trash and placing it in the container. I was so impressed, I stopped his truck and introduced myself as he stopped to service my home. I told him he was a great representative of the city and his superiors should be extremely proud. He made me proud as a citizen. And I will tell you, with Mr. King, he didn't know anyone was watching when he did these things. So we're incredibly proud of him.
But something else the city may not know about you, I know on one of your routes that it's a disabled person and that you personally get out of your truck, roll the can to the street, empty that can and take that can right back to the house. I do know that.
It's our pleasure to give you your Service Excellence Award. I want to say thank you for what you do on a daily basis. And, you know, I tell my kids all the time, it's not what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when people aren't watching. And you are a great example to the employees of this city, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I just want to thank this wonderful city council, you know, for thinking about me. And, I mean, you all doing a wonderful job. And I also want to thank my supervisor, George Smith, and Tim Reed, you know, for, you know, standing in and helping me out, make me be a better employee. And not to forget the fleet service. I know things like this would never happen if it weren't for them, you know, keeping our trucks on the road and stuff. Once again, just thank you, Murfreesboro. Thank you, City Council.
Puppy Plunge is an annual event hosted each year at Borough Beach. Photographer Jim Davis was there to get a first-hand look at all the dogs having a blast in the pool before the cold temperatures roll in. One local boy got to experience being the police chief for a day. 8-year-old Bryson Cook was able to see what it's like to be the Murfreesboro police chief. Maybe Bryson will join us in a few years. Halloween is right around the corner, and the Parks and Recreation Department have plenty of family-friendly activities to keep your family entertained. You can visit our website at murfreesborotn.gov to learn more about upcoming events. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro, you can always visit our website anytime at murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Cecilia Herrell, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.
Leaf collection season is underway by the Murfreesboro Streets and Solid Waste Departments. Here are a few tips how you can help in the process. Please keep loose leaves separate from yard waste like brush, debris, and limbs. Only biodegradable paper bags are accepted for those residents who choose to bag their leaves. Place tree limbs and brush parallel to the street. Make sure the debris is in one pile only instead of several piles. Don't place brush longer than 10 feet in length. Don't place brush under low-lying power lines and cable lines to allow room for the boom to work. Don't park a vehicle near the brush pile during daylight hours. Most of the leaf collection season typically ends before the Christmas holidays. Crews will continue picking up bags of leaves through the first or second week of January. Once again, leaf collection season is underway by the Murfreesboro Streets and Solid Waste Department.